Hey there, good folks. Dr. Charlie Brown here. Welcome to our Charlie Chats. Let us take our 3 deep breaths together so that we can gather and join. Breathe in and release. Breathe in and release. And one more time, breathe in to the bottom of your belly. And release. Well, these these normally work where I am trying to figure out what the through line is for whatever is on my mind in the moment. And right this moment, I think it is transpersonal. Now, my doctorate is in integral and transpersonal psychology, and transpersonal means essentially the connection between mind, body, spirit, and environment. And then integral means integrating that. So, integrating the whole is how I usually describe my doctorate to folks. But the idea of transpersonal is it's more than that. That's kind of the simplified version so that it doesn't sound quite so alien. Transpersonal means beyond and through. So in this case, trans means beyond and through the personal. So it encompasses maybe the spiritual elements of your life, the environmental elements of who you are, how you've come to be, all of that, and holds space, holds a container. I like to say for all that is within and through you as a singular entity, but also you as part of a collective, as part of something greater. And the beyond and through is what I want to focus on today. So many things are not as they appear. Whether that is when you look in the mirror, you see one thing and maybe others see other things. That might mean that you present differently in public or at work than you do at home. It might mean you might have a whole other life that most people don't know about. You might have separate worlds, and those aspects of yourself don't meet. You might be a parent in one regard and kind of like a gentle, compassionate parent, and maybe a fierce competitor in another regard. Um, so the beyond and through, that begs the question to me, at least, of what is beyond and through? What is the more than there appears to be? And how is that intertwined with everything around you? How is it that you've come to be at this place and this location with this idea or these ideas? And if there's people around you, these specific people around you, how is it that each of you has come to be in this moment together, right here, right now? Uh, a guy I used to date, we met at a restaurant, and we were both loners sitting in our loner worlds, and I'm pretty sure the hostess was playing matchmaker because she sat us across the aisle from one another. And I was there because this place had meatloaf, and I had just gotten off the phone with my sister, and we've been talking about meatloaf, and I didn't have enough time to make my own meatloaf before I had to go to work that afternoon. And he was there. This wasn't even his territory at the time that we met, but he was there because he got called in from a different territory because somebody messed up. And then that happened to be the place that was 5 minutes from his hotel and 5 minutes from my house. And so I tell that story. I've told that story kind of in a personal way, and people are like, "Whoa!" There were quite a few things that had to happen for both of us to be right there at that time. And really, that's true of every aspect of our lives. That there is this great interweaving that happens where strands that we may never have any idea about had to be in play for us to be right here, right now. And that we're connected to that strand, the beyond and the through. That we are, I am part of the trees outside of my window. Trees, interestingly enough, are sentient beings. They know when you are there, they are aware of your presence. Trees have a magnificent language among themselves, and they tend to be clustered with a mother, with a matriarch, and her female offspring tend to be around her in concentric rings. But they are sentient beings. They are the beyond and through for me in this moment right now as I look out the window, which is in front of me. I can see and connect with trees in a way that they can see and connect with me. See, I probably use that a little loosely for trees, but sense, certainly. A tree absolutely knows that you are present, and trees will behave differently, ever so slightly. I suspect that's full speculation. That came out of my mouth as if it were true, and it's simply speculation on my part. But I bet they behave differently when they know who's who, when they know who's in their presence. And I figured out that trees figured out it sort of came upon me that trees were sentient beings on one of the retreats in graduate school. We would usually find some natureful place and spend a couple of days there as a group, as a collective. All of the programs that were in whatever department would be there all at the same time for like a weekend, a long weekend. So on one of these, it was really foggy in Mount Tam, in California, in the San Francisco Bay Area, and I had been behind. I had been at the back of the group for most of the day. It was really foggy. I was okay with the fog. It felt like a womb to me. I felt embraced. But I had been at the back the whole time, and we were doing this meditation exercise, and just she said, connect with the trees. And I connected with the trees in a really big way. And I was like, oh, hello, tree who has known I'm here. Of course they're sentient beings, was kind of my understanding at that moment. And at the end of that day, as we were heading back to the parking lot, I was in front because I was ready to lead. And I had been behind doing observing and being in and all of that. And I was ready to be out in front and ready to be leading. Wasn't 100% sure, frankly, where I was going, where the parking lot was, especially in the fog. The fog was so thick and never really let up for the whole day. If you've ever been in San Francisco, their fog is legendary. And this was just, I think, maybe the foggiest day I was there in 4 years of living in California, in the Bay Area. And I was ready to lead. And I'm like, I'm not sure, but we're going this way. And it was kind of a single file and all of that, and just being out in front. That also was the beyond and through. That was the aspects of being in and behind and observant, and the aspects of being ready to be in front and out in the lead with people following me, even unsure. I was sure that we would get there. I wasn't sure if this was the most direct route, but people were following me because I was in front. And so that was also the beyond and through, me being a part of the collective of the group trusting that I would get us there eventually. It did turn out to be the mostly correct path to get back to the parking lot where our cars were. That's also part of the beyond and through. What are the elements? What are the relationships? Have you taken the time to pause, to take in the beyond and through that exists with you every single moment? Do that now. Let's just pause. What is beyond and through for you in this moment, in this very moment? Are there kids in the background? Is your spouse, waiting for you to make lunch, or get off the computer? We probably have multiple computers now. I'm maybe dating myself a bit. What is the beyond and through for you? When you pause, what still exists? That's my question for you today. When you pause, what still exists? What is the beyond and through that you're part of every single moment? That is the transpersonal. That is what I aim to have us all be very familiar with sooner rather than later. It is always my great pleasure and deep honor to share and spend this time and space with you. There are a number of places you can find me. check me out on my website, drcharliebrown.com, on Facebook and Instagram at Dr. Charli Brown. Also on my website, there is a class. If you're interested in the beyond and through and how to notice it and how to be present and grounded and all of that, I have a course called Practical Tools for Everyday Wellness. You can find that either through the menu on my website or get there directly, drcharliebrown.com/practical tools. And that'll take you right to the page. So, until we meet again, I am Dr. Charli Brown, and I want you to take great care.